There's something special about booting up a dark, eerie RPG when the nights start getting colder, when the glow of your TV becomes the only light in the room, and the soundtrack creeps under your skin just enough to make you uneasy. Today, we're going to talk about 10 of the most terrifying RPGs. Now, horror and JRPGs don't usually go hand in hand. It's rare, but when they do, it's an experience like no other. These games might not rely on jump scares, but they do use it to keep you on edge. So today, we're talking about 10 of the best RPGs to play around Halloween. But before we dive in, what's your go-to game for the spooky season? Let me know in the comments below. While you're there, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's jump right into 10 JRPGs that fit perfectly into this spooky season. So we're going to start off with an absolute classic and the one RPG everyone should think of when they think of Halloween, Parasite Eve. It's kind of strange. Parasite Eve is like the die-hard of Halloween games. It takes place on Christmas Eve, but it's not a Christmas RPG. Everything about it just feels like a horror game. Maybe it's the eerie atmosphere or the way mutated animals are constantly stalking you. Either way, it's pure survival horror wrapped up in that late 90s RPG style we all grew up to love. The gameplay was unlike anything we'd ever seen back then. A mix between real-time movement and turn-based combat that was kind of similar to Resident Evil. In Parasite Eve, you follow the story of Brea, an NYPD police officer who goes to an opera one only to witness everyone spontaneously combusting. It's such a weird basis for a game, but honestly, I was in for it. Parasite Eve deserves a spot in every Halloween rotation. It's not just jump scare horror, it's biological horror. It's tension through music, through science gone wrong, and through slow realization. The kind of game that makes you uncomfortable, in the best way possible. Following up, we have Shadow Hearts, a full-on gothic horror JRPG. It starts off with a doom train cutting through the foggy night, and from that point forward, you can already tell what you're jumping into. The towns, forests, and NPCs all feel like the world itself is cursed, which adds to how terrifying the game actually is. I did love the Judgment Ring system. It was downright fantastic. Timing your attacks perfectly was addictive and fun. I really love the risk versus reward system it had going for it. I'll be honest, I was never really good at it. I'm terrible when it comes to timing. At its core, Shadow Hearts is all about navigating a haunted world filled with terror around every corner. Playing it late at night is an absolute must because it increases that experience tenfold. This is the pinnacle of horror JRPGs, and as a result, it's absolutely perfect for Halloween. So Shadow Hearts is pretty dark, but Okage Shadow King is more of a whimsical terror. Think of something like Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. The tone is playful, but it also feels unsettling. The NPCs are creepy, and the art style plays into this whole thing. It feels almost playful, but terrifying at the same time. It's kind of hard to explain. The music and visuals also complement each other perfectly, mixing whimsy with nervous tension. The dialogue feeds into this at the same time with how it'll be serious and freaky one moment, then all of a sudden you'll be laughing out loud. Honestly, it's fantastic what they did with this game. For me, Okage Shadow King is the perfect Halloween pick when you want something spooky without being relentlessly dark. Strange, charming, and unforgettable. It's the kind of game that lingers in your memory long after you've put the controller down. You really think I can do a video without mentioning Tails? Oh, You should know this by now. Tales of Berseria is far darker than most Tales games. When I think Tales, I think a bright, whimsical anime adventure. But Berseria was entirely different, and it surprised me. From the first moments, you feel just how different Berseria is. The murder of Velvet's brother sets a totally different tone of loss and anger, and it becomes the entire basis of the story. What makes it stand out for Halloween is the way the darkness permeates everything. The towns feel tense, and there are demons lurking in every corner, making you feel constantly uneasy. Not to mention Velvet herself is the embodiment of Tale's rage. The music and visuals perfectly support that mood. You have these muted color palettes when you're used to those bright environments, and the haunting orchestral tracks make you feel like you're wandering a world on the edge of despair, causing the environment to feel alive in a way that fits perfectly with October vibes. For me, Berseria proved that the Tales series could surprise you. It's emotionally gripping, dark, and immersive with a combat system that's deeply satisfying. It's the kind of game that blends horror, tragedy, and action in a way few JRPGs attempt, making it the perfect pick for a Halloween playthrough. So first, before we get started on Dreamed Away, shout out to our good pal John from Chicken Fillets for recommending Dreamed Away. I honestly didn't know what to expect at first, but it completely surprised me. Dreamed Away is a horror JRPG done right. It's very subtle, it's very unsettling, and it's emotionally engaging. You play as a young boy named Theo, whose family starts acting a little strangely, and then all of a sudden, your sister goes missing. On the surface, the pixel art is charming and almost cozy, but the game uses that to contrast itself brilliantly. Those cute visuals hide a tension that can hit at any moment, whether it's a sudden shadow or just some odd sound, or a moment in the story that just doesn't sit right. Like, you know what happened, but you can tell there's just something wrong with it. The atmosphere is uncanny in the best way. Everything seems to make your skin crawl. The story unfolds slowly, teasing you with glimpses of horror. I found myself constantly pausing, trying to anticipate what might happen next. And honestly, I had no idea, and that's what a great horror game should do. As for the combat, it's reminiscent of Undertale, needing to avoid your enemy's attack animations, and being able to build combos by attacking at the perfect time. Sure, it's pretty much ripped right out of Undertale, but that's okay. It's a lot of fun. Now, I've only played the demo thus far, but the full release was on October 23rd, and I can't wait to jump into it. Already, I can tell this is the kind of game that will really stick with you, even if it's only because of the pixel art terror that it provides. If you're looking for a fresh and unsettling indie RPG to play this Halloween, Dreamed Away is absolutely worth checking out. If you're still watching right now, I already know you enjoy being spooked. So stick around and subscribe if you haven't, because the second half of this list dives deep into the nostalgic and bizarre, the kind of games that make October feel complete. Dawn of Sorrow is where nostalgia meets gothic horror. Even though it's not a traditional JRPG, the RPG elements are strong, and the game's atmosphere perfectly captures those Halloween vibes. What's more Halloween than exploring a gothic environment and defeating Dracula himself? Dawn of Sorrow and Araya of Sorrow's soul system is one of my favorite mechanics in the entire franchise. You capture abilities from enemies, and it makes every playthrough a little bit different, unless you're like me and try to get every single soul from every single enemy at your first opportunity. I don't suggest this, but hey, whatever floats your boat. No one said you can't spend 120 hours on a 15-hour game. What really stands out for me is how the game balances gameplay and mood. Even the side areas feel alive, with hidden secrets and subtle environmental storytelling that rewards exploration. Getting immersed in Dawn of Sorrow is incredibly easy, but also incredibly fun. For Halloween, Dawn of Sorrow hits that perfect nostalgic sweet spot. It's atmospheric, one of those games that makes you pause, look around, and just soak in the eerie beauty of the world.
Goddess, protect us!
Eternal Poison is a gothic strategy RPG that feels tailor-made for Halloween. From the moment you enter its cursed world, you can feel the weight of its dark, tragic atmosphere. Villages are in ruins, forests are shadowy, and the air feels uneasy. It's one of those games where the environment itself tells part of the story. Speaking of which, The story is compelling. You're exploring a world full of demons and corrupted humans. The narrative never shies away from its horror roots. I found myself genuinely interested in each character, and the gothic tone kept me constantly aware that danger was never far away. What makes Eternal Poison so unique is how it blends strategy, story, and atmosphere. The combination of haunting music, creepy landscapes, and challenging gameplay creates a world that feels oppressive and perfectly suited for anyone looking for a deeper, darker strategy RPG to immerse themselves in this season. Eternal Poison is one of the best options. It's tense, beautiful, and haunting in a way that lingers long after you're finished with it. Okay, first. Yes, I know Danganronpa is technically a visual novel, but let's be honest, what is a visual novel if not a JRPG without a battle system? Just stick with me here. In Danganronpa, you're trapped in a mysterious academy where the only way to survive is to murder someone and get away with it. The premise alone gives you chills, and the game leads into it brilliantly. There are bright, colorful visuals to mask the grim reality underneath, creating this weirdly eerie contrast that just keeps you on edge. The murders are gruesome without being gratuitous, and the suspense of being stuck with unknown killers creates a persistent sense of unease. Combined with dark humor, over-the-top characters, and jaw-dropping plot twists, the game balances horror and levity perfectly. Playing Danganronpa around Halloween adds another layer of thrill. The bright, cheerful visuals make the sinister undertones hit even harder. I remember being creeped out in the middle of the night during my playthrough because of the whole mood that the game portrays. Honestly, it's a weird, tense, and absolutely unforgettable experience, and amongst one of the best visual novels you will ever play. It's one that makes you think twice about trusting anyone in a creepy, isolated school, and it's perfect for October gaming.
My turn.
Disgaea 6 is the perfect comedic palate cleanser after all of that darkness. The series as a whole has always felt like a haunted house for anyone into strategy. You have demons, you have monsters, and then they're all wrapped in this absurdly chaotic world. But Disgaea 6 leans into the humor even more. You're in a netherworld filled with over-the-top characters, ridiculous enemies, and numbers that get so big they almost feel supernatural. And on top of that, your main character is a zombie. What's more Halloween than zombies? What I love most is how the humor works alongside the dark setting. There are moments that have me laughing out loud, ridiculous attack animations, and dialogue that borders on self-parody, all while still giving you a strong sense of the netherworld's quirky, twisted charm. For Halloween, you get demons, but you also get outrageous fun. Honestly, I don't know what else you would have to expect. To wrap things up, we have Valkyrie Elysium. Now this one might feel a little intimidating for different reasons. Compared to the classic entries in this series, it's a downright terrifying experience. Okay, but what I really want to talk about is Valkyrie Profile. This game is truly Halloween adjacent. The story, while not really all that dark, I mean it does have vampires like Brahms and people die, it revolves around life, death, and the afterlife, with your role as Valkyrie guiding souls to Valhalla. Everything about it feeds into that. You might actually tear up to the characters as they meet their inevitable fate. So while Elysium has its own intense moments, revisiting Valkyrie Profile reminds you why the series had such timeless appeal. Haunting and very emotional. The kind of game that lingers with you long after Halloween is over. Just don't play Valkyrie Elysium. You'll be so disappointed and probably too scared to play any video game ever again in your life. And that's it for my roundup of best RPGs to play around Halloween. What games do you like to play this time of year? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.